Hi. I was just sitting here thinking about imposter syndrome. And I think I might have done a video about this before, but I've just been thinking a lot about that kind of thing. And I just really have come to understand that imposter syndrome and lack of self-worth they go right hand in hand. And I think back over my life and I have suffered from imposter syndrome about pretty much everything I've ever done. I always feel like, oh, that's just me, Oh, I always feel like I have to make excuses for myself or apologize for myself for being successful at something. It's like, oh, yeah, no, because I don't feel worthy. And it all stems from my childhood. And, I mean, I'm not blaming my parents. They did the best they could. They weren't terrible parents. They just were indifferent, basically. They didn't, sorry, I'm knocking over stuff. They didn't have really any interest in me as an individual. It was just like I was just part of the group that was doing stuff. I honestly cannot remember more than maybe 5 actual instances about my mother as a child until from like 0 to 13. I can remember about 5 things where mom and I did something together, and I remember it clearly because it was such a rare thing. And it wasn't like she didn't love me or she didn't care about me. She just was busy doing other things, and I wasn't on the radar really. I was just there, I was taken care of, and had everything I needed. So I never felt heard or seen. And my dad, I didn't know what the hell my dad was doing. He was working and wasn't involved with us really as kids. I don't remember him being involved at all. I remember one time when I think it was like 1959. I was 4 years old, and it was Sputnik was flying, with the Russian satellite. That was a big deal, and I remember them taking my dad holding me and telling me to look up the sky, and I was terrified. I wouldn't look. I was scared. And I think I was an embarrassment because I was weird like that. Things like that scared me because nobody nurtured me. I got no nurturing emotionally. I got nurturing, I got all the motherly things done for me, but I didn't have anybody nurturing my heart, and making sure I felt loved and special and, confident. They just, oh, well, she's shy. That was all. Oh, she's shy. And so I was shy. And so that's how I grew up. I mean, I'm not now, obviously, but it took me a long time. And I'm 70 years old and I am still struggling with self-worth because I have imposter syndrome. I am an artist. I paint. I sell paintings. People have paid money for my paintings, quite a few of them actually. And I still feel like I have to apologize for my art. It's like, it's, I have to, I always have to remind myself my art is for me. And if other people want it, I am thrilled. A lot of times I'm painting something and I don't even like it. I'm thinking, I don't know why I'm making this. I hope the right person sees this because it's obviously not for me, but I just try to do it anyway. So that's my take on that. But anyway, back to imposter syndrome. Sorry, I kind of got off the subject. I know a lot of it comes from just not feeling like you're worthy of anything. I had imposter syndrome about being a mother. I was never one of those kids that played with dolls and couldn't wait to have a little baby. I just wasn't that kid. I was a tomboy. I was out playing basketball, swinging on swings, playing, just running around, doing outdoor stuff when I was a kid. I don't do it now, but I was when I was a kid. And I spent a lot of time alone, a lot of time alone. And so I just grew up as a loner. I'm totally content by myself. Every once in a while I get a little ants in my pants and I want to go do something, go be around people. But for the most part, I'm fine. Whatever, go do whatever you got to do. I don't need I don't need to be with people all the time. I actually need to regroup. The last few days I've been with people, which I love, the people that I love being with. Don't get me wrong. But I got to go home and kind of come back to normal, come back, readjust, get back to who I am. But anyway, I know imposter syndrome is a thing. There wasn't really a name for it that I was aware of until recently, and so it totally makes sense how it all where it all comes from. It comes from because you don't feel good enough. You don't feel worthy of the attention that it's maybe getting or whatever. And I was thinking about I sing. I used to perform, but I mainly just do karaoke, which is performing in a kind of a weird way, but it's fun. I love it. It's a great opportunity to sing. And I was I was singing in my car yesterday as I was driving along, and I thought, one of the things that I one of the things that I hesitate to do is own the stage when I'm up there. And I'm thinking, why don't you own it? It's People want me to own it. They want you to do it. They want you to bring it. They don't want to see you get up there and be nervous. The audience, I noticed on the few times, there have been times when I've just gone up there and I just let it all out, and I just really got in touch with the song and was just really feeling it and sending those feelings out, not keeping them right here, trying to be, if you're worrying about making perfect notes, you're keeping it all right here because you're in your head and you're worrying. But if you're singing from your heart, you're sharing all that energy out to the rest of the people, whoever's listening, and they're going to feel that energy. It's just like when you're acting, like when I'm acting in a show and you do something and they laugh, I feel that energy, and so I give them more back. It's such a beautiful feeling. That's the whole purpose for singing, should be sharing that energy. And so I've decided that I've been having imposter syndrome about singing. It's like, well, yeah, I can sing and I sing well. I'm maybe not as well as I used to because I'm 70, but I still sing well. And people stop and listen when I sing most of the time. And I don't mean that to be egotistical. It's just that's what it is. But they really stop and listen when I don't hold back, when I get out of my head and I just sing what I'm singing, feel what I'm singing. That's when people are touched, and that's the whole purpose for doing it. And so I've decided I've got to make a mental note to every time I get up there, I have to be able to let go, and I want to sing this for them. It's not for pretty notes, and they're there. I know they're there. I don't need to worry about it. I just need to sing what I feel, and if it's not perfect, it's okay. People will feel the energy, and that's what's really, really the most important. That's the whole purpose for singing. And so it should be anyway. It's not about, oh, look at me, and I always feel like I have to apologize for, oh yeah, I'm saying thanks, but I'm good and I should be proud of it, and I need to own that. And that's part of getting past the imposter syndrome, as you realize I am just as worthy to be up here singing this song and sharing it the best way I know how. I'm okay. I can own that. And so that's what I'm really striving for now. I've had several months off because I had a cold and a cough that just wouldn't go away. It's finally gone. And so my voice was really, there were holes in it, that I couldn't hit all the notes. I knew where they were, but that was nothing there. So I'm trying to get back to that, and I will let you know how it goes, because I really love that feeling. It's such a good feeling when it's not you doing it. It's like one time back years ago, this was back in the 90s, I was singing at a church, and we were in an Easter program that I had almost not auditioned for this part because I thought, oh, he's just going to let his wife have the part, blah, blah, blah. So, but I went to the bathroom right before the audition, and I had a little talk with myself. I said, back in high school, you really kicked yourself for years for not auditioning for the High School Musical, and the next day, the teacher came up to me and says, why didn't you audition? Like, oh, great. I had no idea that anybody thought I had any talent. So I said, okay. So I went out in this church and I sang the song as an audition, and his wife came up to me, and the minister's wife, and he said, if he doesn't give you that part, he's crazy. And he did. And so it was Easter Sunday. There was about 500 people in this church. It's normally not that crowded, but there were, I'd been on the worship team. I'd been singing a little bit on Sundays, but I got up there, and it was dark in there, and there was just the bright light, and I just sang to that light, and My memory of that is I'm standing behind my shoulder singing. I'm watching me do it. I don't even it was an out of body experience and it was amazing. And I nailed that song. And people were coming up to, "Oh my God, are you a professional?" Blah, blah, blah. They were just so blown away. And so was I. But that's the best feeling there is to get out of the way and just feel that. It's like a state of bliss when you're so connected to something like that. So think about, do you have imposter syndrome about anything in your life that maybe you should reconsider and think, well, you know what? Maybe I bet you are worthy. I bet you're totally worthy. And I bet you're not really an imposter. Bet you're very good at whatever it is. So I just want you to think about that. Go home or where, I don't know where you go. I'm home. Wherever you are, just take a moment and think about it. So I suggest that you take a moment and stop and think about what is it that I'm feeling like I'm not really good at, but I know I'm pretty good. Anyway, I hope you give it some thought because I think it's worth your time. All right. Thank you for listening. If you made it this far, if you did, please like and subscribe. It really will help other people to see this, and maybe they'll get something out of it. And either way, have a great day, and I appreciate you.